Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode on my YouTube channel. I'm Hillary Mulick, a wedding photographer based in the Carolinas. I love teaching other photographers about photography and business. And on this week's episode, I'm going to be talking about styled photography versus documentary photography. I was talking with one of my photography friends about this sudden boom in documentary photography and how if you are doing any sort of styled photography, that is not trending anymore, and documentary photography is the way to go. So I wanted to use this video to kind of talk about the differences and the way that I blend both in my business that works best for me and creates really beautiful results. So let's talk about the differences between styled photography and documentary photography. Documentary photography, in my mind, is very beautiful, very messy. It kind of looks like a photographer is just following this couple around on their wedding day, not directing a single thing, just photographing things as they happen in all types of light, and it can look really awesome. When you see it on Instagram or on TikTok and you see this documentary style photography, it looks really beautiful and really realistic. So now let's talk about styled photography on a wedding day. We talked about documentary photography. Styled photography, in my mind, is very directed. You are directing the couple where to go with a nice light. You're telling them how to move, where to be. And I don't think that this is a bad thing at all, because we have a lot of couples who are really awkward in front of the cameras and they want to be told what to do with their hands. They want to be able to look good in their photos. They want to be in really good lighting, and they're relying on you as the photographer to direct them in such a way that's going to look really beautiful and really natural, even if they don't feel super comfortable or super natural in front of the camera. So for me personally, I find myself falling kind of in the middle between this more styled photography and this more documentary photography. So just knowing where to be in the middle to where things look really natural and really realistic, and that the couple really feels like themselves while they're being photographed, and when they look back at the images, they think, yeah, that looks like us, versus just being overly styled to where the moments don't feel authentic anymore because they are so styled. So for me, I really see the pros of combining these two mediums of this more styled photography and directing the couple on a wedding day, and this documentary photography that's a little bit more messy, a little bit more realistic. So let's talk about some examples in which you can bring these two types of photography together on a wedding day. Let's start with the getting ready space. Now, as we know, there are lots of getting ready spaces that vary in how beautiful they are aesthetically, and also the type of lighting that is available. So from a styled point of view, I think it is wonderful to clean up a space so that it's free of clutter, because realistically, people are getting ready in this space, but they don't necessarily want all their duffel bags in the background of all these pictures. So I think from a styling perspective, it is totally okay to clear up a space that has really good light so you can photograph the couple getting ready. So to bring in this more documentary approach to this same situation, after I have styled an area to be clear of clutter, I know it has really good light. Let's say I put my bride there to get ready. I ask her, who do you want helping you get ready? And so let's say that's her sister, and so her sister will come in, help her get ready, and I will just tell her sister to do the normal things that she would do if she were helping her sister get ready from a more documentary, realistic point of view. So I might have the bride already have her dress on and holding it on, but I'll have her sister zip it up. Maybe I'll have her sister grab her jewelry, help her with her jewelry. I might have the bride just like adjust some of the jewelry. I'll do this really quickly because from a realistic standpoint, the sister was the one who helped her with the jewelry. So I don't want to spend too much time on, the bride also pretending to put in her jewelry, because that is very staged and unrealistic, and we're talking about bringing these two mediums together. So I follow the sister, I take shots of her helping her get ready. And then from a more styled perspective, I might do a couple portraits of the bride afterwards. Now let's switch over. Let's say we're photographing a groom. I think more often than not, we find grooms in places that have really terrible lighting, which, you know, sometimes you can't help that. I would still say from a styling perspective to clean up an area that you want to photograph the groom in, but don't feel like you necessarily have to take him out of the getting ready suite to get ready alone, because that is not necessarily a very realistic thing to do if he's with all of his buddies and they're in this man cave and it's super dark in there and they're getting ready. Maybe take out your flash for this and do some really cool flash photography of the groom getting ready with his groomsmen in this man cave situation. And that is a way that you can bring this more documentary approach to this getting ready situation. So rather than taking the groom and saying, hey, I hate this place, let's have you get ready outside. Sure, that might be nicer aesthetically, but is that really realistic? Is that how he was spending that morning? He wasn't spending that morning outside alone. He was in this, you know, man cave situation with all of his groomsmen hanging out. They're all getting ready. So I would kind of keep that in mind, is how can I photograph this that is very true to what is going on, but also don't be afraid to bring in that styled perspective of, okay, you're getting ready here in this really dark basement room, man cave situation, but maybe let's clean up some of the clutter around you so that when you're getting ready, we don't have like duffel bags or bottles of beer all over the place or something like that. So that is a way that you can bring these two mediums together for very realistic documentary photos, but also have them styled in such a way that are very aesthetically pleasing. One more thing I will say about documentary photography is I think lots of people love it because it is not fake. And I think those of us photographers who maybe started our businesses out styling a lot of the aspects of the wedding day to make it very cohesive and very beautiful, but also we might forget that we want to keep things also as realistic as possible. So I'm guilty of this, but I also see other photographers, maybe let's go back to the bride getting ready with her sister situation. The sister comes in, helps the bride get ready, but then they say, okay, now let's bring all the brides in and I want to fake all the bridesmaids helping you get ready just for photography's sake. So this is a very styled, very fake photo because all these people were not helping the bride get ready. Now it's very different if you do maybe a first look where all the bridesmaids see the bride for the first time after she's ready and you capture that, and then all the bridesmaids go up to her and give her hugs, and you know, maybe they're looking at her veil and her dress and they're just like admiring at how beautiful she is. Those are moments that can you can throw in your little styling flair by maybe moving people around so that it looks a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. But this is a very real moment of these bridesmaids seeing their bride for the first time and wanting to go up to her and hug her and congratulate her and just kind of fawn over how beautiful she looks. And that's a very real moment that you can capture. So try and stay away from faking things on the wedding day that are not realistic and are not what happened just because you want a photo that you may have seen that looks really cool, like a photo where all the bridesmaids are helping the bride get ready. I think we need to keep in mind that we want the couple to look back at these photos and feel like, oh yeah, this is what happened on my wedding day. My sister helped me get ready, and then I got to see all my bridesmaids for the first time, and they saw me in my dress, and that was a really special moment. So think about more capturing these special moments rather than faking moments that might just give you a good photo but don't have any emotional meaning behind them. So those are my thoughts on styled photography and documentary photography and how we can bring both together to make a really beautiful, aesthetically pleasing wedding day while also capturing moments that are really realistic and really emotion-filled. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comment section down below. Also, if you are interested in more of a natural way of posing your couples that, again, is very realistic and just brings out that emotion in your couples, whether it be for engagement sessions or on their wedding day, I have a free guide. It's how to get a variety of photos with just one pose. And it's a very natural way of photographing your couples while also still getting a huge variety of photographs to deliver to them. And you can download that guide for free in the description down below. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you again next week for another YouTube episode. Bye, guys.